Hello everyone, P557. This is my video response for a letter of recommendation. After reading chapter 7 and just looking at some of the examples and the notes from that chapter, I thought of a few people, try to narrow it down. I do have a couple of people that I would definitely say, as far as selling point to an employer in the sports industry, that I would benefit from a letter of recommendation from them. I would say probably about maybe 10, 12 years ago, or in my late 20s, I would say, when I was a camp director at one of my local rec centers in here. It was one gentleman named Mr. Ford. He actually oversee the southern region where I was working at, and then also at the community center I was working at, one of the front office personnel. Um, she worked there, and her name was Miss Tucker. I thought about those two in regards of this um, response. And the reason why, because during that time I was a camp director and I was uh, overseeing uh, camps for the summer for that 8 weeks, and we had actually a couple of times we had two or three camps going on at one time. The camps that rotated every 2 weeks. We had new participants or some in return, but um, when you're dealing with summer camps, sometimes you're dealing with young students or returning college students that need jobs for the summer. And we had a couple of mishaps that summer um, with students, with employers under me, where some of the policies and procedures were not followed closely and things were done out of order. Um, and just, I guess, my management skills really came to light in that situation because I was able to not only put out huge fires by talking to the parents and addressing the situation with the parents and then addressing it with the staff members without anyone higher or above stepping in. Um, I have got a high recommendation from those two people that I mentioned. And so, when you're dealing with uh, children and managing sports, there's a lot that comes with that. We had a sports camp. A lot of the stuff that we did in the summer was involving with physical activity, and I had to make sure that my staff members understood the policies and procedures as far as going outside, how to um, manage the students when you're participating in games, not singling out students or playing games that are um, discouraging to the students and games that you are requiring to be competitive when you're dealing with kids from the ages of 6 to 12. So I was able to put in a lot of games and monitor a lot of those things. Some things were hands on because I know some of my staff members they weren't in that type of area or that field, so they didn't experience a lot of those things. They were good workers, but we had to work hard with them. And sometimes as a leader, you got to lead from experience or lead from the front, and that's what I did. Um, and they liked that because, again, it showed the parents that when they came in, that I was hands on. I wasn't just a manager that sat back in the front in the office and just delegated orders. I was out and I was involved. And I talked to the parents. They even said at the front desk to sign people in and out at times. So it was no job that was too little for me when I was the camp director there because I had to be involved in everything because again the responsibility came down to me, and that was one of the things that Mr. Ford did like about my personality, that I was doing things the right way. I was up front with him and with my staff, and everything was laid out. So you didn't know, you couldn't say that you didn't get it from me. And the same thing with Miss Tucker. She knew that when it came down to it, even outside of my summer job, she would call me to come down and help with some of the events, or ask me that I want to work this event for the weekend because they needed someone that was strong, that they knew that they could be depended on to, help run the event. So um, those two people in particular that I know that would definitely help me with my selling point to an employer because we in sports management. It's about management. It's about someone who can get the job done, someone the employer can trust to do what they need to do during their time there or during the task that they're given. So I would definitely say that those two in mind would definitely, I think, be a good choice of a letter recommendation uh, for employment that I'll be seeking in the sports industry. So thank you guys again, and I hope you enjoyed the post.